You forgot who you are, not because you were weak, not because you were lazy, but because the world shouted too loud and your soul got tired of whispering. Your name was never not enough. Your name was never too much. Your name was never failure, burden, or mistake. I gave you a name before the world gave you a wound, but over time, that wound rewrote your identity. It started small. Maybe someone ignored your cry, denied your joy, silenced your fire, and slowly you began to believe, I must become something else to be safe, to be seen, to survive. This is how identity fractures. Carl Jung called it the split between the persona and the shadow. The persona is who you pretend to be to earn love. The shadow is everything you hide because you were once shamed for it. But I made neither of those masks. I made the soul beneath them. And I've come not to shame your shadow, but to reintegrate it, to pull the lost pieces of you out of exile. You thought the exile was punishment. It was actually the place of remembrance. In the wilderness, where no one is watching, where the applause fades and the mirror cracks, I start to speak your true name again, the name I gave you before you were hurt, before you hustled, before you believed your worth was based on performance. The enemy tried to rename you, trauma tried to rename you, culture tried to rename you, but they don't have the authority. Only I name what I create, and here's what I call you: chosen, beloved, capable, whole, anointed, enough, on time. I call you by your essence, not your errors. Even the science agrees. People internalize their environments. When a child hears you're stupid long enough, their brain literally rewires to believe and behave as if it's true. Their identity becomes a cage. But I'm unlocking the cage. This is what it means to renew your mind, to remember who you were before the forgetting. And no, this is not about ego. This is not about puffing yourself up with affirmations or pretending pain didn't happen. This is sacred self-remembrance. It's looking at the parts of you that were buried in shame and saying, come home, you're safe now. It's giving the little you permission to feel again, to breathe again, to exist without apology. Because I am not just redeeming your future, I am redeeming your internal identity map. And make no mistake, when you reclaim who you are, everything begins to shift. People notice it. The atmosphere responds. Opportunities that were blind to you suddenly turn their face, because the outer world bends to match the frequency of your inner truth. This is not mystical hype. This is neurological fact. The reticular activating system in your brain filters information based on what you believe about yourself. If you believe you're invisible, it filters out opportunities. If you believe you're worthy, it highlights the very path you once thought was hidden. So, what if the reason nothing worked before was because your identity didn't align with your inheritance? What if I'm restoring your name before I release your next assignment? What if all the silence was me, detoxing your soul from every counterfeit label? And hear me clearly. You don't have to feel worthy to start. You just have to agree with me, agree with your real name. Not the name depression gave you, not the name performance gave you, not the name abandonment gave you, but the name that existed before all of that. The name I wrote in my book. The name only heaven knows. When I spoke to Gideon, he was hiding, scared, calling himself the least. But I said, mighty warrior. When I called Peter, he was unstable, impulsive, inconsistent. But I said, rock. When I saw you, I didn't name you by your past, I named you by your potential. Because I don't speak to who you were, I speak to who you're becoming. And you're becoming someone unstoppable, because you're becoming someone authentic. Not a curated image, not a performance mask, but your whole integrated holy self. And when that happens, the game changes. Your inner world will no longer sabotage your outer world. Your voice will return. Your choices will shift. Your patterns will heal. You will no longer chase what was never yours. You will attract what's been waiting for the real you to show up. So let me ask you now, what false names are you still answering to? What roles are you playing that I never cast you in? What would happen if you dropped the mask and finally stepped into your real name? Because in the next block, I'm going to take you to the next level. Not just remembering your name, but revealing your assignment. What you were actually born to do, and how the pain you've been through is not a detour, but a blueprint. You keep asking me, what is my purpose? But you've been looking for your purpose like it's a job description, when really it's a revelation of who you are. Before you were called to do anything, you were called to become something. Not something new, something original, something ancient, something already written in my design for you. You think you need a career path. I'm giving you a kingdom blueprint. You think you need to know which door to knock on. I'm showing you that you are the door. People will walk through you, your healing, your courage, your freedom, and find me on the other side. You think your calling is behind some curtain, some qualification, some performance, but I've hidden it in the last place you'd think to look, your deepest pain. That rejection, that trauma, that silent suffering you thought disqualified you, it didn't disqualify you, it equipped you. The very story you've tried to forget is the one I'm redeeming to set others free. Carl Jung said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." He didn't realize he was quoting me, because I've always taken wounds and turned them into weapons of glory. Moses had a speech impediment, yet he became my voice. David was overlooked, yet he became a king. Mary was a virgin in hiding, yet she carried the Messiah. And you? You are carrying something just as miraculous, a prophetic assignment wrapped in ordinary skin. But here's the mystery. Your purpose isn't just what you do. It's the energy that follows you. It's the healing that leaks out when you walk in rooms where people feel dead inside. It's the discernment you've gained from every night you cried alone. It's the resilience coded into your DNA after surviving what was meant to kill you. Your very presence becomes the prophecy. So stop asking for a map, ask for awareness. The assignment is already in motion. Even in this moment, I'm aligning people, positioning hearts, breaking old systems, just so you can arrive in the right place at the right time. But it won't feel like what you thought. It won't feel like prestige, applause, or titles. It will feel like alignment, peace, an inner resonance that says, I was made for this. Because purpose doesn't start outside, it starts within. You know that feeling when you finally speak your truth and something inside you exhales? That's purpose. You know when your story touches someone so deeply they cry and say, I thought I was the only one? That's purpose. You know when you show up even while you're still healing and somehow others begin to heal too? That's purpose. And here's the thing I need you to understand. Your assignment is evolving. Don't get addicted to a title. Don't make an idol out of one season. Who you were called to be last year may look different today, because I'm not just interested in your usefulness. I'm committed to your wholeness. And sometimes I'll call you away from stages into silence, away from crowds into solitude, not to punish you, but to protect the seed. You are not behind, you are being built. Every delay is my design, every no is divine redirection. Every closed door is proof you're too big for that room. You wanted a position. I'm giving you a mantle. You wanted approval. I'm giving you authority. You wanted clarity. I'm giving you character. Because what's coming next requires a foundation that can carry weight without cracking. I'm not just launching you. I'm rooting you. And no, the world may not understand it. People will say you're wasting your gifts. They don't see what I'm doing underground. But seeds don't explain themselves. They just break the soil when it's time. And when it's time, you won't have to force it. The room will recognize you. The right people will be drawn to you. The anointing will go before you like fire on dry grass. And no imposter syndrome, no trauma echo, no old insecurity will be able to stop it. Because you'll know, this didn't come from me. This came through me, from God. So let me ask you something now and be honest. What assignment have you been resisting because it doesn't look like the world's definition of success? What quiet, gentle pull have you ignored because it didn't come with fireworks? Because in the next block, I'll show you how obedience, not ambition, is the secret to supernatural acceleration. Why the humble yes in secret will always outrun the loud look at me in public. Ready to stop chasing titles and start living truth.